For those of you who don't know me, my name is Erin, and I was Tom's youngest child. I also happened to be his favorite child. At least that's how he made each of us feel when we were in his presence. I just wanted to share a small conversation that I think sums up what my dad was like as a father. In one of our many conversations around their kitchen table, I was telling my dad about our new dog and just how I had to train her and get her used to our home. And, she was being a little bit of a pain. So I said to my dad, I don't know how you did it. At one particular time, he had 5 kids, 1 dog, and 6 puppies. So if I can paint the scene, we lived in a fairly small house with no air conditioning, but there was a window unit in my parents' bedroom. So on one particular hot night, we all slept in my parents' room. Yes, that's right, 5 kids, 1 dog, and 6 puppies. So I asked my dad, how didn't you go crazy? Because if I was going on at my house, I'd be the first one on the first train, plane, bus, or whatever it took to get out of town. And anybody who knows me well knows this to be a true statement. My dad's response was simple. He said, I saw how happy the puppies made you kids, so it made me happy. And that truly sums up my dad and how lucky we were. In closing, I was very lucky to talk on the phone or physically be present with my dad in the past year. And almost every time we hung up the phone or I would say goodbye, he would say, take care, tell everyone I said hello, and give them a big hug and kiss from me. So today I say to you, Dad, take care, tell everybody I said hello, and give everyone a big hug and kiss from me till we meet again.
I am Pat, the oldest son. My father, Thomas H. McDonald, was a great man. Period, paragraph, full stop. But there was a method to his greatness. I think it involves 4 things. 1, he met his kindred spirit and best friend very early in his life and was with her until his last breath. My mother, Joanne Schultes McDonald, inspired him as he inspired her for 65 years. Amazing. Some people don't get 65 years of life, much less get the privilege to have a partner, soulmate, and best friend for that length of time. I've always admired their relationship, and at the same time, I'm a living beneficiary for their loyalty to each other. 2, he always had a passion for his career. There were many twists in the road of this journey, but he always steered perfectly. It began in the U.S. Marines, and he embodied his life with their motto, Semper Fi, always faithful. The passion of his subsequent business career is akin to the general of an army. He fed himself and his soul first so he could feed the troops. His love for his work produced incredible success, most likely beyond his wildest dreams and the dreams of my family. One other note, my mother has a separate and incredible career herself as a teacher. She has been in a classroom at least once, and in many periods, full-time, every year since 1957, a streak of 63 years. I think that represents the current worldwide best. And I point that out because there's an old saying about 2 trees growing together, one never overshadowing the other. This passion for their careers is the water of my mother and dad's growth together, allowing each other to evolve freely and with less ego over the other. That is a prime lesson. Love what you do and let each other do it. He and my mother has passed this along. 3, he was a man of great faith, shared with my mother, and made it an important part of our family dynamic. The belief in something you perceive to be bigger than yourself can allow the practice of this wisdom. Let go and let God. I believe even in the midst of his debilitating illness, he never lost the faith that allowed him to prosper his spirit. That is the overriding benefit of his religion. And finally, he was a family man, a noble, heartfelt, emotional family man. Again, my siblings and I were beneficiaries of this. We always felt safe, protected, provided, and cared for. That freedom is indescribable, especially when you get older and experience the realities of a world that does not guarantee safety, and realize that very few fellow travelers receive the same privilege. It's better than any earthly wealth or material gain. He taught me to be a thinker and indulged in my curiosity. His influence led me to a lifelong appreciation of literature, politics, history, and film, so much so that my career path has gone toward those dynamics. I recall one time I was going deep on some cinematic analysis, and he looked at me oddly and said, "Don't you go to the movies just to be entertained?" Yes and no, I thought, and that is partially because of his legacy. My brother Mike expressed to me that Dad always represented stability, understanding, and forgiveness for him. He let us find our own way, according to Mike, but even if that way went off track, he always had our backs. As I observed my brother with his own family, I can honestly say that he has carried on all of those traits in honor of and in the inspiration of our Father. From Sister Kathy, she said, "I know love and security because of him, the greatest of all being love." One of her greatest childhood memories is Dad walking through the door after work and immediately kissing Mom as the first thing he did before settling for the evening. Kathy's daughter Katie, his oldest grandchild, remembers the determination in Dad's gestures of love. When her and her sister Megan needed a kiddie pool in the summer, off to Walmart they went, and when the pool didn't fit in the car, they held it to the roof, stopping every few miles as it threatened to blow off. And then even remaining positive after they filled the pool and the water was too cold for the sisters. She also remembered her pop-pop's kind and patient forgiveness, such as burning out clutches and engines and teaching children and grandchildren to drive. Yet he was always there to give you the keys. And when young kids and grandkids inevitably broke things, he would say, "It's just stuff," and superglue the pieces together like a precise surgeon, as if practicing his forgiveness. He loved his hometown, Steubenville, Ohio, or at least the bustling, romantic hometown of his youth. He passed that love to the rest of us, and it became one of our hometowns. He met my mother at the College of Steubenville, now the Franciscan University of Steubenville. He supported that institution to the end, and my brother Steve also graduated from the university. And the mention of Stephen Schultes McDonald reminds us that no life, even the life of a great man, is not without tragedy and loss. I think my brother's death took something out of Dad that he had trouble reconciling. And his lament as Steve sighed as he breathed his last was, "Why couldn't God take me and spare him?" There is a simple answer to that question. Dad needed Steve's soul to transition him into the next ethereal and heavenly plane. In conclusion, there was a piece I ran across recently, a poem called Epitaph, written by Merritt Malloy, that is often read as a mourner's hymn. I immediately thought of Dad, both in the humanity of his magnificent life and his struggle in illness to the end. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and the old people that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your fellow humans walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved, and if you cannot give me away, at least let me live on in your eyes and not your mind. You can love me most by letting hands touch hands, by letting bodies touch bodies, and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die. people do. So, when all that's left of me is love, give me away.
It's my honor to play taps for Tom McDonald, USMC.